In the metta meditation that I led in the beginning of the retreat, I began with one of my favorite entrances to metta, the invitation the Buddha offered us, that if we were to search the whole wide world, we would find no one more deserving of love than ourselves. It's such a deep and beautiful invitation. This turning and recognizing our place and home in the family of things. And forgiveness is one of the paths for embodying this invitation. It's about unburdening the obstacles to this love, to this homecoming that we are being called to. It is calling on this particular quality of the heart that allows us to be student of lives, our life, this life, to be students as partners or parents or friends or whatever and wherever we're working, that understands we're always learning and always making mistakes. The path of forgiveness understands that the nature of life and ourselves is imperfect. Yes. Always changing, opening, asking new things of ourselves, and so we're learning all the time. Forgiveness is a process, not a product, an invitation that allows us to be where we are in this moment and in all future moments, just as we are, without demanding we be a perfect self or any ideas or opinions of how we think we should be, but gives us the space and capacity to be where we are without judgment and blame or shame. It's part of metta and compassion. When Mel talked about letting go and the beauty of renunciation and the joy that it brought, forgiveness is part of this path of renunciation, of letting go. It doesn't insist it, it just invites us whenever we're ready. So we'll begin with forgiveness for ourselves. Maybe taking a moment to feel the blessing of lying down, for those of you who are lying down, or having support for your back, for those who have support. And acknowledging all the efforts that we've made today. Appreciating those efforts and somehow now in a way putting them to rest. It's the last part of our evening together. So we can relax. feel the support of the ground underneath us, or the sofa or chair. And then feeling your heart space, however that comes to you, maybe by having your hands there or feeling the beating of your heart, or maybe even your breath, this aliveness. And in this aliveness, see if you would like to connect with your wish to be free of judgment, shame and blame, of the obstacles to love. I'll offer some phrases to support this, or you can find others that you prefer. In offering forgiveness for these energies, see if you would like to lift up one incident in particular where you have judged yourself. And calling in forgiveness, may I forgive myself. For holding myself to a standard that isn't kind. May I allow myself to be imperfect, to be a student still learning what is wholesome and kind and what isn't. May I forgive myself. May I allow myself to be imperfect, to make mistakes. May I allow myself to be a student still learning on this path. And if when I say this I feel nothing or even resistance, no problem. I offer this invitation just as an invitation, and so whenever I'm ready, may it seed and live inside of myself. I trust my own pacing and opening. For the ways I have believed my negative thoughts about myself, may I forgive myself. For believing the negative thoughts of others, for shaming and blaming others. May I forgive myself. May I allow myself to be a student, still to be learning what's healing and true and what isn't. May I free and unburden my heart of all judgment for myself, for others, for situations, events. May I be free of judgment. May I forgive myself when I forget. May I allow myself to be a student, still learning. Just take a moment and feel your breath, your heart. And then if you feel ready to call in a memory of one action that you did that was harmful, and calling in forgiveness for this. Just taking a moment and remembering. May I forgive myself. May I allow myself to be imperfect and to make mistakes. May I forgive myself. It might be that there are others, or if you like, casting your wisdom, recollection, for all the times and ways we have been unskillful, and somehow are harboring judgment or shame or blame around these places. We have the opportunity in this moment to let those energies go and forgive ourselves. May I forgive myself for all the ways that I acted unskillfully in my past. May I allow myself to be a student then and not know what was skillful and what was unskillful. May I forgive myself. May I unburden my heart of judgment, shame, and blame. Allowing myself to be imperfect. Trusting that by letting go, I create the conditions for more skill, for more wisdom, and for more love. Letting go of recrimination. May I forgive myself. And if I can't forgive myself now, no problem. In hearing these words and sentences, I trust they will settle and seed in the right time and place. And finally, if you would like to recollect any time when your speech has been unskillful, or the plenty times that speech has been unskillful, and calling in this wisdom, understanding of healing through forgiveness. May I forgive myself. May I allow myself to be a student, confused about what was true and skillful and what wasn't. May I forgive myself. May I be able to free and unburden my heart of shame and blame. Coming back, if you like, to your body again and your breath, refreshing, relaxing, knowing that you are creating an environment of safety and protection for yourself and others. Desmond Tutu said, "Without forgiveness, there is no life." If you would like to call someone into your heart space who you would like to ask for forgiveness from, and maybe it's a little thing to begin with, not like a huge thing. seeing them clearly and asking for their forgiveness. I want to account for the unwholesomeness of my speech or action or even thoughts. May you forgive me. May you allow me to be a student of life, to make mistakes. To still be learning. May you forgive me. And if you can't forgive me now, no problem. Whenever you're ready, in your own timing and ways, may that be able to take place. And allowing this being when you're ready to leave your heart space. See how it feels in your breath now. If you feel ready, calling in someone who's hurt you, better a little hurt than a big hurt to begin with. And seeing this person clearly in your heart space. And calling in, as you have for yourself, calling in this quality of forgiveness for them. May I forgive you as I have allowed myself to be a student of life and to make mistakes. May I allow this for you too. As I have allowed myself to be imperfect, may I allow this for you too. May I forgive you. Or I forgive you. And if I can't, no problem. I plant the seed that whenever it's right for me, that seed comes to fruition. Allowing this being to leave your heart space. If there's some other person or community even or space or place you would like to call in forgiveness for, take these next few minutes for that practice. And then allowing all these beings to leave your heart space and coming back to yourself. If I were to search the whole wide world, I would find no one more deserving of love than myself. This being, this life living through me, asking for forgiveness and love. May all beings everywhere be able to forgive, unburdening their hearts of shame, blame, and judgment, opening the way for love. May all beings unburden their hatred, anger, revenge, compulsions, opening the path to love. Thank you for your practice.